are here to read a book. So today's book will be read Titi Kim StoryTime is How Not to Babysit Your Brother. Should be a very fun book. All right, so How Not to Babysit Your Brother. Little brother. Brothers are trouble. Hi, my name is Will. I live with my parents, my grandma, my dog, Buster, and my little brother, Steve. Steve is trouble. He's loud, he's smelly, and he's always around. If you have a little brother, you know exactly what I mean. Last week, I found out just how much trouble he could be. That's when I learned how not to babysit my brother. It all started when Mom went shopping. Dad was out playing golf, and I was playing with my new video game, Cowboy Stampede. I was about to reach level 5. Usually my cowboy got trampled on level 3. Bye, Mom, I said. Bye, Mom, Steve sang out. He likes to copy everything I do. Well, be fine, Grandma told Mom. Don't worry, we'll be fine. So Grandma's there. Let's see what happens. After Mom left, I went back to my game, and suddenly I found a tug on my arm. Can I play? It was Steve, of course. But it was too late. The cow trampled my cowboy. 2 words came out of the screen. Game over. Look at what you did, twerphead, I said. So he's mad now. Playing nice, boys, Grandma said. She yawned and picked up a book. And I went back to my game. A minute later, I heard a snore. There's Grandma snoring away. I looked over the couch. Grandma's book was on her lap and her eyes were closed. Grandma, I said, the only answer was another snore. She was fast asleep. A very bad idea. I looked over at Steve and he stared back at me. I'm bored, Steve said. If Grandma's asleep, you have to babysit me. I want to play hide and seek. Okay, I said. You hide first. 1, 2, 3. I smiled as Steve ran out of the room. Buster ran right after him. Steve loves hide and seek. I love my video game. Now we were both happy. I waited until Steve and Buster were out of sight, and then I stopped counting and went back to the video game. I think about Steve again until my cowboy was out of lasso points. Then I realized the house was very quiet, too quiet. I turned away from the game and I looked at Grandma, and she was still sleeping. Uh-oh, I said. I went to find Steve. I looked for him under the stairs. I looked in the hall closet. Steve wasn't there. This is what I learned. Babysitting lesson number 1. When you're babysitting your brother, don't forget about him. It's a good lesson. I continued to search. I checked under Steve's bed, and then I checked under my bed, and I searched the basement, the garage, and my closet, and there was no sign of Steve. This was going to be harder than I thought. Where was Steve hiding? Crash! Oh no! I thought I heard Buster barking in the kitchen. I ran to see what was going on. I'm going to see all that going on. A very big mess. When I got there, the dog bin was tipped over and Steve's head and shoulders were sticking out of the top. Dog food was stuck in his hair and his clothes and up his nose, and he looked like an alien from the planet Yuck. He giggled as Buster licked some crumbs off of his ears. "What took so long?" Steve asked when he saw me. A chunk of dog food flew out of his mouth. Yuck. Babysitting lesson number 2. When babysitting your brother, don't let him hide first. "Get out of there," I told Steve. "We have to clean up this mess." Steve climbed out of the bin. "Why?" he asked. "Buster's cleaning it up too." If Buster eats all the food, he'll get a stomachache. Uh-oh. I wiped off the counter and swept the floor, but Steve was still covered in dog food and dog slobber. "Come on, Steve," I said. "Let's go upstairs." "Why?" Steve asked. He gave me a "I don't trust you" look. "What's upstairs?" "The bathtub," I said, grinning. Steve hates baths. I dragged Steve up to the bathroom. "No bath," he yelled. I'll give you a cookie," he said. "No bath." We glared at each other, and I had to think of something fast. "If you take a bath," I said, "we'll play a game." "What game?" Steve asked. "It's called Tidal Wave." "Tidal Wave?" Steve said happily. "Okay." Babysitting lesson number 3. When your brother likes one of your ideas, be very, very worried. Uh-oh, he looks mischievous. Another very, very bad idea. Steve dragged his arms through the tub. "Danger, danger!" he shouted. "Tidal wave!" Water washed over me. "Hey!" I yelled. Steve laughed. "Here comes one." I was beginning to realize that tidal wave was a very, very bad idea. "Stop," I pleaded. "No more tidal wave." It was too late. Another came splashing out the tub, and this time Steve managed to soak me, all the stuff on the counter, by the sink, all 4 walls. Buster pushed the door open to see what we were doing. He got soaked too. Baby lesson number 4. So babysitting lesson number 4. So far we have like 3 other rules we have to follow. 4 is never let your little brother play tidal wave in the bathtub. Oh boy. "We have to clean up this mess before Grandma wakes up," I said. Steve shrugged. "You can clean," he said. "No," I said. "You're going to help me." I gave Steve a towel. "I'll get a mop." I said, "Go dry yourself off and don't make a bigger mess while I'm gone." "Look," Steve said proudly when I came back to the mop. "Now the bathroom is extra clean." Oh boy. "And it sparkles," I groaned. There was toothpaste on the toilet seat. There was shaving cream on the sink. There were bubble baths dripping in the towel rack. Little wads of wet little toilet paper were clinging to the walls. I could smell Mom's perfume, Dad's aftershave, and Grandma's lavender powder mixed together. Uh-oh. So we have another babysitting lesson. Number 5. When babysitting your brother, don't let him out of your sight. Not even for 1 minute. Because he's mischievous. "All that cleaning made me hungry," Steve said. "I want a snack." "Go straight to the kitchen," I croaked. "Do not wake Grandma. Do not hide. Do not pass go. Do you understand me?" Steve smiled his most innocent smile. "Sure, I'll make a snack for you too." He hurried out of the bathroom, leaving a trail of water behind him. My toothpaste was floating in the toilet. I fished it out and threw it away. This was not how I wanted to spend my Saturday afternoon. That's pretty gross. Another sticky, smelly, horrible mess. After the bathroom was clean, I walked down the kitchen. I gasped. The refrigerator door was open. Steve was standing at the counter. A huge half-made sandwich was in front of him. Okay. At least I think it was a sandwich. It was made out of ham, a whole tomato, an entire cucumber, cold spaghetti, pickles, chocolate syrup, sardines, and yogurt. Buster was licking a big blob of the yogurt off the floor. And Buster was having a very good day. So was Steve. I was not having a good day. Babysitting lesson. Here's number 6. Lesson number 6. When babysitting your brother, don't forget babysitting lesson number 5, which is don't leave him alone. If you do, you'll regret it every time. So let's see. What was lesson number 5? Don't let him out of your sight, not even for 1 minute. So don't forget lesson number 5. Steve took a big bite of that sandwich. Yuck, he cried. This tastes gross. Do you want it, Will? He shoved the sandwich across the counter. I tried to catch it, but I was too slow. So then it went splat. The sandwich landed on the floor with a big old splat. Uh-oh, Steve said. Messy. I should clean it up, Will. No, I cried. I'll do it. Just stay out of the way. I cleaned the kitchen for a second time. Then I went to the family room. Grandma was still sleeping on the couch. But now she had a weird streak of sparkly pink stuff on her nose. Steve was sitting next to her. What are you doing? I hissed. You're going to wake her. Shh, Steve replied. He held up Mom's makeup bag. I'm just making her look pretty. What they're doing to their poor grandma. I watched in horror as he pulled out lipstick and some face powder. Quit that, I whispered. I grabbed the makeup and the bag and I shoved it under the couch. And I took a tissue and I gently wiped most of the makeup off of Grandma's hair and face. And then I looked at Steve. He had a smudge of red lipstick on his face, and his arms were dusted with sparkly powder. Oh, why did I forget babysitting lesson number 5? Can't even leave him alone, remember? Not even for 1 minute. You're a mess, I said. Time for more tidal waves? Steve asked hopefully. I shrugged and shook my head. Then I did what I should have done all along. I let Steve play Cowboy Stampede while I went to go get a washcloth. So that's what he wanted to do, play some game. All's well that ends well. Well, or at least it is. It is it. When Mom walking in, Steve was still playing my video game. I was reading a magazine and I was too tired to do anything else. Or at least Steve was clean. It took an hour to scrub the makeup off of him. Hello, everyone, Mom said with a smile. Looked like things were quiet while I was gone. Well, everybody looks all peaceful now, right? Sitting there. Grandma's eyes fluttered. Oh my, she said. That was a nice rest. Were the boys good? Mom asked her. Oh yes, Grandma said. I could hardly hear a peep out of them all afternoon. Will was my babysitter, Steve cried happily. I helped him clean. Mom was staring curiously at Grandma. I gulped as I noticed that Grandma still had a patch of glittery face powder on her chin. There it is. Everybody's looking. Uh-oh. Just then, Buster walked in. Mom stared at the dog, and then she stared at me. Well, she asked sternly. I grinned weakly. It's a long story. Babysitting lesson number 7. When babysitting your brother, don't forget to clean up the dog. And that is how not to babysit your brother. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye now.